Warning, the following video has not been approved by the Comic Code Authority and is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The.Comic.Assassin. It's Monday. It's the day where I come at y'all with some news about what's going on in the movies, the TV shows, and the books, and what picks you might want to be looking for on Wednesday when you roll up to your LCS on New Comic Book Day. A lot of news has dropped. I'm sure many of you have already heard a lot of the news. The big news this week has been Spidey not being continued in the MCU. Now, there's a lot of rumors going on there, so I think everybody needs to just take a pause and let the people do what they got to do as far as their deal making. But I've heard rumors that like the Dark Phoenix had a role in this, that the Dark Phoenix bombed so bad that they want to introduce the X-Men into the MCU, and they want Kevin Feige to come in and spend his time on that. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Some of the other news that came out are rumors. I think Lords of the Long Box came out with this, basically saying that there was a deal on the table where they wanted a 6-movie deal. They went from 50% to like 30%, but it had to be made by D23, which did not happen. And the other thing that struck me odd about that rumor was they said that of those 6 movies, 3 of them, like a trilogy, was going to be based around Firestar and Iceman, doing the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, like the old school show that I grew up watching, which would be cool. I would love to have that, but it doesn't seem normal for someone to put that much information out there when a deal hasn't been done yet, which struck me as odd and kind of made me feel like it was way more rumory than actuality. But who knows? But there's a lot of people that are upset about this, right? But just know that Spider-Man has so many characters in his universe that they can still come out with a lot of good movies as long as they're written good, directed good, produced good. That, I'm not really that worried about it, to be honest with you. It's cool to have, Spider-Man in the MCU because there's the interconnectivity going on, which, I think that's the strength of the MCU, is you can have these characters do their solo movies and then they can all be in the same movie together. I think that's really cool. But a lot of people are upset. I don't know if y'all saw this, the Durex Condoms Company. They tweeted out this little thing. I thought it was hilarious, giving their support for Spidey leaving the MCU. They wanting to bring him back, but it says the end came too soon. The feeling is mutual. All right, so there you go, Durex condoms. It's a way to put your rubber where your mouth is, or something like that. All right, something like that. But a lot of rumors. But there's a lot of good stuff that we did learn about D23. So first off, we do have a release date for the new Black Panther movie that's coming out. Number 2, that's going to be May of 2022. So still way down the road. Looking forward to that movie. But some of the bigger news, and that comes with the Disney live action series, where they have announced they're going to be doing Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight. Super stoked about Moon Knight. Super stoked about that. I'm also looking forward to the She-Hulk. Miss Marvel, not really my thing, but this has caused books to spike. Alright, so Miss Marvel, they're focusing on Kamala Khan, which her first appearance was Captain Marvel number 17. That book's already, all these books are already pricey to begin with, but they've done doubled, tripled in some cases on the secondary market. But that's one you would be looking for. She-Hulk with that Savage She-Hulk number 1. And of course, Moon Knight, that Werewolf by Night 32, which was already a super expensive book, and it just got even more expensive. So when this news dropped, those book prices went up. But another one that not a lot of people are talking about is the Moon Girl news. Alright, so Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur is apparently also going to be getting an animated show on this Disney stream. And those books have spiked too. So Moon Girl's getting some love. What else is interesting is this also kind of brings back the rumor that we might be getting some Jack Russell the Werewolf by Night in the MCU, which would make sense. But what movie or what show it's going to be in, who knows? It could be a Moon Knight route, it could go a Blade route. And this is all just rumors and speculating, but let's definitely, it's worth keeping an eye on to see what happens. Let's see, what else? Oh, another thing, the What If series they keep talking about, which is going to be an animated series. I could have swore that when they first announced the What If stuff a few months back, that they said it was going to be a live action series. Because they were talking about how expensive it was going to be to make this What If series, and now learning that it's animated. So I don't know if the news was just reported wrong, or if I might have just read it wrong. That's always possible. But I could have swore the What If was originally going to be a live action series, but turns out it's going to be animated. But yeah, I'm super stoked about the Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight at least being a live action series. But I think the big news came with the Eternals. Alright, and this is all from the D23 Expo. So, we got to get a good look of the costumes that are going to be in there, which is cool. But the big heat was that Kit Harington, our Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, is going to be playing the Black Knight. Yeah. And I've heard the Black Knight being rumored in the past. It seems like it's going to happen. But this is what's confusing to me. Because they have stated that the Eternals is going to take place in a time way, way, way before any other Marvel movie has, as far as timeline goes. Which makes you think that the Eternals are going to be taking place centuries ago. Maybe even before man is on Earth type thing. Like taking you way back in time. But the Black Knight that is being portrayed is Dane Whitman. Which Dane Whitman is a 20th century character. So that's kind of odd. Now we do know that Dane Whitman, the Black Knight, did have a love thing going on with Cersei. So it fits that he's in the Eternals. But the timeline that they're saying is going to happen and then introducing this character means there's going to have to be something else going on. Whether they're completely changing the script from comics, there might be some time travel stuff. I don't know. But that was really confusing to me. And yeah, but I'm super stoked to see the Black Knight in there. Let's just see what happens. Also, U.S. Agent. Alright, so U.S. Agent is going to be in the new show for the Falcon, the Winter Soldier. His first appearance was 323, and I forget the guy's name. But he also became the U.S. Agent in Avengers 354. So those are two books that you might want to start picking up now before they heat up too bad. But yeah, that's all. A lot of news going on. And all we can do is just sit back and see what happens. Alright? Oh, did you hear about this guy? What's his name? Mark Marone? Alright, he plays a character in the new Joker movie. And he was on Conan, of all places, alright, talking about, I guess his role in Joker and the movie. The discussion came about comic movies in general. And this douchebag, what'd he say? It was something along the lines where, I'm a grown-up, I'm not 7 years old. I think these movies are for grown, male, nerd childs. Right? And I thought that was pretty, and people were booing him in the crowd and everything else, and Conan was like, yeah, that's a way to alienate, almost everybody, But yeah, how could you be in a movie, in a comic movie, like the Joker, and then you're going to completely, disrespect everybody that's going to come watch your movie? I thought that was kind of a douchebag thing to do. And he's a comedian, he does things to get, rouse out of people, whatever, but what are you going to do? But yeah, I thought that was interesting, to say the least. So with the comic books themselves, there's really not a lot of news coming out. I did see where Garth Ennis is coming back out to do 2 more Punisher miniseries, which I'm super stoked for. I thought Garth did a freaking great job on Punisher. I love his writing. And even though they're miniseries, which I'm not always a huge fan of, I'm glad to see him come back. I haven't seen any dates for when those are going to come. But the other thing that I saw, which I found pretty interesting and pretty disappointing, is that they're bringing back the 2099 things. All right. I mean, if you're a product of the 80s and collected in the 90s, or if you're familiar with comics in the 90s, you know that they did that big event where they had the whole, Punisher 2099, Spidey 2099, was it the Ravager 2099? And those are the books you find in dollar bins. The only book that ever piqued anybody's interest as of late was Spider-Man 2099, and that was all because of the movie, Into the Spider-Verse movie. Other than that, no one was going out there seeking out those books, and honestly, I don't blame them for it. I'm not go seeking those books out. But for some reason, Marvel thinks it's a good idea to bring back the 2099 series. So, they've already dropped some artwork for Conan 2099 and also Punisher 2099. And I thought I saw something about Spidey there as well, but yeah, really, we're going to do more of that stuff because it worked so great in the 90s. Let's just see how it works out now. Right, so yeah, I'm going to be passing on all that unless they do something really, really freaking cool, which I doubt is going to be the case. But yeah, that's the news. That is the news for this week. So let's get into what books you should be looking out for at your LCS this Wednesday when you're all up in there, alright? So first off, from Dark Horse, we have Manor Black #2. I really enjoyed issue #1. Gonna be interested to see where they're going with #2. From IDW, there's a few. There's Star Pig #2. This is one I'm on the fence on. #1 was quirky, but I feel like I owe it to him to give him at least till issue 2. So we'll see there. TMNT, our Turtles going on with 97. The last few books have heated up. If you're a Turtles fan, pick up the book. I think some of the heat has kind of died down a little bit as far as the secondary market goes for Team NT, especially with these last few issues. So yeah, might be one you still might want to pick up, okay? And this is one I don't normally pick on because I don't read this book, but the G.I. Joe 266. That is a freaking sweet looking cover. So yeah, if I was a G.I. Joe fan, that's one I'd be wanting to pick up. Now, there's some other ones that are coming out that I'm probably going to pass on. Mall #1 from Boom Studios. Probably going to pass on it, but it's a #1. Go read the synopsis. If you like it, go pick it up. But we have Knights Temporal #2 from Aftershock. That's another one that it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth after the first issue. So I might not be picking up issue 2, but I'll probably at least go check it out and thumb through it a little bit just to see if it's something I want to pick up. But yeah, that's dropping this week. But my top picks, my top indie picks, I'm going to have to say one goes to William, The Last Shadows of the Crown, #1. This is an Antarctic Press. This is a book that's for all ages, kind of an adventurous type of book. Already sold out on Midtown. So yeah, that's one of my top indie books for this week. The next one, I have to go with Bone Parish. Bone Parish #12. Bone Parish is freaking awesome. All right, it's a good book. This is the last book of this run. I've heard somewhere down the line that it has been optioned. I don't think any traction has been going on with the book since then, but it would make for a freaking awesome TV show or movie. So yeah, I'm picking Bone Parish #12. But my top pick for indies goes out to Mountainhead #1. All right. And I believe this is also, is it IDW? I think it is IDW. Kind of got a cool synopsis, but the one thing that excites me about this book is that it got John Lees is the writer for this. Now, if you've watched my show at all, you know I love me some Sync, which is put up by Comics Tribe, and that's also a John Lees book. So, yeah, he's the writer on this. Very much looking forward to Mountainhead #1 if I can get my hands on it. Let's see. Let's go to DC. All right, DC. I'm gonna say Martian Manhunter #8 for the read. Even though I haven't read it, I know Rod the Rican, he loves that book. I think Lady Fantastic, I've heard her talking about this book. So a lot of people are really enjoying that read. That's the one I would pick up. Of course, Batman Curse of the White Knight #2. I'm going with that cover A all day long. I really like the first one, so that's definitely one I'll be picking up. But the main book from DC you might want to be picking up is the Red Hood Outlaws #37, and I'm going with that Philip Tan variant. All right, still for cover price. This is cover B. Already sold out both covers, cover A, cover B, already sold out on Midtown. And the reason why is because not only do we have this Year of the Villain tie-in thing, we have a few new characters, and these characters are probably going to be around to stay for a little bit. Now, whether they have long-term longevity, who knows what's going to happen there. But yeah, we got new characters. Books already sold out online. Haven't seen anything spike up in the secondary market yet with these books. But this might be the one you want to pick up. All right, there's probably a lower print run for the Red Hood Outlaws. So yeah, that's probably going to be definitely my pick for DC. Period. That's probably my big spec book of the week. Is that Red Hood Outlaws. All right, just because it's going to have a lower print run, we have new characters coming out. That's the one I'd be picking up. Now let's go to Marvel. We have Absolute Carnage #2 coming out. Cover A all day long. That Stegman cover. Get the cover that you want, but that's the one I'd say you should go for. There's other few Absolute Carnage. They're not necessarily tie-ins. So this is what's confusing. And the editor-in-chief at Marvel was actually talking about this, the C.B. Cebulski, the difference of an event and like a major storyline. Like, he does not view, like, the War of Realms was an event. You get all these tie-ins. Whereas Carnage is kind of like its standalone story. But then you have all these little spin-off books that are coming out. But they're not called tie-ins. So I'm kind of confused with that whole thing, but yeah, they got like a Lethal Protectors coming out. They have like an Absolute Carnage Miles Morales coming out. I love me some Carnage, so that might be worth the pickups, but I don't know how much they actually really tie in. You know, because they're not called tie-ins. So yeah, a little confusing there. I have to do it. I hate to put this one on my list, but Marvel 1000 got a super big price tag of $7.99, but it's also a big book. I'm interested to see it just because the whole, I think it's like, was it 80 different pages? And that each page was done by a different creative team. And some really big names on there. And I'm kind of interested to see how they do it. Once again, I'm not even going to put a cover up on the show here. Pick the cover that you want. There's a few that I like. There's a few that I don't like. But yeah, just get the one that you want. There's a lot to pick from. Alright, but my two big books of the week from Marvel, I'm going to say first, you can't go wrong with House of X. House of X #3. The Asrar connecting cover is the one that I like. I like those connecting covers if you can get both of them. Those also seem to be doing some of the best on the secondary market as far as, if you can get both sets. So yeah, I'm going with that one all day long. But also Venom #17. I'm going with that Garbe 80th anniversary cover. I think it's a sweet looking cover. I love the storyline. I gotta get me some Venom. But yeah, those are my top books for Marvel. But anyway, with that being said, it's Monday. I hope all of y'all have a great week. And on Wednesday, when it comes down to it, I wish you all happy hunting. And I want to thank everybody so far who has taken the time to first watch the show, subscribe, like, but also leave a comment. All right, that's the one thing I like the most of the comments. So, with that being said, this is the Comic Assassin. Wishing all of y'all a very marvelous Monday. And with that, happy hunting.